everyone, how are you all doing? Today I'm going to be taking a look at my custom Mezco style Nightwing. And for those of you who have been on the channel for a while, I've talked here and there about how special Nightwing is to me. He's always been, Dick Grayson has always been like my favorite DC character. He's always been just like my idol, my hero, you know. So this is just something that I've been needing to make for a very long time. And I was waiting for the right body, the right head sculpts, you know, the right suits, everything, and it all fell into place. There are a couple things that I do want to change, but this figure's already undergone a bunch of different changes since I first originally made it. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into the process of how I made this figure. So the base body of it is actually the NW Toys body, the one that's been out for a while. I have, I think, 3 or 4 of this body now. I put a couple Daredevils on it, Captain America, Punisher, and Nightwing, and I love this body. It's the best 112 body that's ever been made, and I will that's period. The only thing that does bother me with that body is the neck. The thickness of the neck is insane. I don't know why, but like I had to trim down, so if I can kind of get up in there a little bit. You can kind of see there's some up near the neck. I tried to match the skin tone as well as I could. It's a little off, but hey, skin tones, they do differ from the neck to the face. But thankfully I was able to trim that down a little bit so I could actually fit this head on there. And this head is from Action Figure Customs, I believe. Painted that up. I'm beyond proud of how this head sculpt turned out, especially because I put so much time into it. Because I'm both patient and impatient in the sense that I'm patient when I need to be, but I'm very impatient when it comes to like my customs and stuff. But this, I was like, okay, it's Nightwing. This is super important. I need to do this. So like you can see there's a little bit of blue wash in the hair. The mask is, finely detailed. The lips, the skin tone. Like I really tried to go all out for this thing. And I really could not be happier with the head sculpt. I am very happy. And of course I went with the smirking one because it's Nightwing. And he's both serious and he's a little bit more jovial. So I wanted that to be shown throughout this figure. And the suit is also like the Batman one from C4 Charles. This is the non-metallic version, the standard just blue one. And I think it's holding up well. I have, I've posed it a little bit, but I haven't posed it too terribly much. It doesn't look like it's fading or anything. I glued up the back instead of sewing it because I was impatient with that part of it. I tucked the suit down in the neck as well. And I really like how that turned out. The hands are from the Supreme Knight Batman. The batons, or scrima sticks, whatever you want to call them. My brain, for some reason, it depends on which version of them. I call them different things for some reason. I don't know why. But like the Arkham ones, I call those the scrima sticks, and then I call these batons. Why? I don't know. It makes no sense to me. But no, they're scrima sticks. And these are from the... Was it Batman Bad Blood, or was it Son of Batman? Whichever the animated, the old animated universe, like the New 52 universe that they made, those movies, that Nightwing figure. You know what? If you know your DC stuff, you know what I'm talking about. But those sticks, and they slid into these hands perfectly, and I love how they look on him. They are proportionate, and they're just swell. The boots are from the Netflix Punisher, because I originally had the NW Toys boots on here, but they I like them, but they're a little too rubbery for me personally. Like, if I bring that in, it's nice that they are rubbery, but they don't do too terribly well for balance, at least on my surfaces. Like, this is styrofoam and stuff like that. It is flat, and it's not hard to stand stuff up on it, but, I went with this, just because. I liked being able to use these. I think it was just something that I went with. The belt is it was originally brown, and I painted it black. It's originally from the Civil Warrior. Is that what that figure was called? From the Shang-Chi wave, that Captain America and like the Iron Man suit. I originally had the Netflix Vigilante Daredevil belt on here, but I was like, it's too high, and it wasn't big enough. And I liked this because it offered more of a utility belt, but also a streamlined kind of look to it, and it looks better. And speaking of the Netflix Daredevil, I believe that's what... Oh, no. I was going to say these are from the Netflix Daredevil, but they're not. The wrist gauntlets on the insides are from the Ascending Knight Batman. that. I cut those up because I tried to do those and I was like, you know, like they look good, but it's missing something. And I still don't particularly think I like the way the gauntlets turned out, but the gauntlets are from the that really weirdly proportioned kind of short Batman that we got from Multiverse, the Rebirth looking one. And, you know, I was going to cut these off, but I was like, you know what, let's kind of keep them on here just as a sort of, you know, his homage to Batman, you know, to be like, yes, he did train me, you know, there's some animosity there, but, you know, we've made our peace. I'm going to use a little bit of his design because I like this design, you know, like that just kind of thing, just in my own headcanon for it. And I don't think it looks bad. I don't think it looks bad at all, but I do wish I would have trimmed the arms down just so they would have fit a little bit more flush on here. As is, though, I don't think it looks bad at all. And I may try to change it at some point or add on to it in some sort of way. But like I said, as is, I like it. And this doesn't, you know, much like the Batman, doesn't hinder articulation in any sort of way at all. So like the NW Toys body that is an absolute masterpiece of a figure, you know, like I can get him into this super bent acrobatic pose like right off the bat like that. That's super cool. The legs can't go out all the way, but you can still get, you know, a little bit of a kick going on. And then if you want to finagle it, you know, you could have him kick forward or back, you know, just sort of general kind of things. But yeah, then let's bring in, of course, the man himself. And I like this. I think this looks good. Although Nightwing is a little bit taller than Bruce, and that's, at least I think he is. He's like a tiny bit taller. It's not too much of a big deal, especially because, you know, if I'm going to have them together, I'm going to have them posed. But at least Dick is, you know, he's thinner, he's more acrobatic. And Bruce is a lot beefier, you know, could pick up a guy and throw him with one hand kind of thing. So I think this looks pretty good. And then if I bring in the V-Toys body Superman, just to show you guys what it looks like with a V-Toys body instead of a Mezco. Let's see if I can, why is his head not turning? There we go. But here he is with that. And I think this looks good. I like the three of these together. They look pretty solid. And then if I bring in, you know, normal Superman, he's obviously, Nightwing's a little bit bigger, which doesn't make any sense. But as you know, as I said in the Batman video, if you have him in flight, it's fine. So yeah, you know, I'm really proud of this Nightwing. As I said at the start, and as I've said before, Nightwing is so incredibly special to me. He just always has been and always will be. So getting to have this, especially since Mezco was like, no, we're never going to make a Nightwing, we're never going to make a Robin, which, you know, they made a Robin because we all complain enough because they just don't like Robin, which, why do you not like Robin? Look, Batman's cool on his own and all that stuff, but what made him a better, more interesting and relatable character was his support system. You know, him having Jim Gordon, him having Alfred, him having Dick Grayson, you know, Jason, Tim, Barbara, everyone, you know, just, it makes him more relatable because it just does, you know? He can't do it alone forever. You know, it makes sense that he started that way, and then he brought in Robin because, you know, he brought in Dick because of the fact that he saw someone that, you know, was like him and he didn't want him to be consumed like Bruce, you know, like Bruce was with his own passing of his parents. So it was just something, you know, it gives more to the character of Batman and Bruce Wayne to have Dick Grayson, to have Robin, and then, you know, Robin becomes Nightwing and forms the Titans, and it just builds out that universe, you know, just coming off of Batman, specifically, like how much the universe is affected by Batman. So yeah, I don't know why Mezco doesn't understand that, but that's okay. You know, that's why third-party companies make these bodies. That's why people make these suits and these head sculpts so that we can put together builds like this. Because this, honestly, I mean, you know, articulation-wise and, you know, painting-wise, like, not to toot my own horn, but this is better than what we would get from Mezco, to be completely honest. Like, this is, I used some Mezco parts, but this is better than what we get from Mezco in terms of articulation at the very least, because the articulation that they give on their bodies, they don't give any torso articulation for some reason on a lot of them. But yeah, that's going to do it for me, and I will catch you all in the next one. See ya.